The Conjuring was a movie that I personally loved. When I first saw it in theaters, it naturally creeped me out and became one of my favorite horror movies. However, I decided to search up the real story of The Conjuring to understand the hauntings that occurred. I found some interesting stuff, and I also found out that some things in a Conjuring movie and what really happened may not be accurate, despite Lorraine Warren personally helping with the movie. After doing a bit of research, the story was an interesting one, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this. So let's dive into a house that's beyond haunted. Let's dive into the Conjuring House. The original Conjuring House was built in 1736 on the Arnold Estate in Harrisville, Rhode Island. The Arnolds was one of the original owners of the house. The Arnolds experienced many instances of their lives ending by many tragic and mysterious ways. The parents moved in on January 11th, 1971. The spirits in the house quickly made themselves known when they moved in. Oftentimes, the house would smell of rotten flesh. There were also reports that the family members often levitated off their beds while they were asleep. Small piles of dirt would randomly appear on the floors that was just cleaned. The father, Roger Perrin, will often feel a presence with a rotten smell behind him when he entered the cellar. Carolyn Perrin, the mother, also had experiences of her own. One day, while lying on the couch, she felt an intense pain on her calf. She noticed that she was bleeding and realized that it was a perfect circle, like a sewing needle was punctured in her skin. The family grew scared and decided to make a call. After the increase of hauntings, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who were well-known demonologists, were asked for help by the parents. Carolyn explained her story to the Warrens about the needle wound. With that information, the Warrens suspected the entity to be Bathsheba Sherman. In the past, Bathsheba was suspected to have taken the life of an infant using a needle. Carolyn Perrin was soon said to be possessed by the spirit. The Warrens conducted a seance, not an exorcism, as the movie depicted, to contact the spirits. Andrea Perrin, the oldest daughter, said that she secretly watched the seance and said her mother was speaking in tongues and her chair would levitate. And then the mom was flown across the room. After the seance, the Warrens were asked to leave the house because Carolyn's mental health was becoming unstable. The family had to stay in the house longer due to financial reasons, and finally, in 1980, they moved out. That's when the spirits once again were silenced. In the movie, the entity that plagued the house is a witch by the name of Bathsheba. She was born in 1812 as Bathsheba Thayer. Then eventually, she married a man from Rhode Island, Judson Sherman. The pair married in Connecticut and went to Rhode Island to begin their lives. They started with the normal traditional marriage where Bathsheba was a housewife and her husband worked as a farmer on their land and provided for their family. They were also a well-off family. It was suspected they had many children whose lives sadly ended at a young age. They had one child who lived, Herbert Sherman. In the movie, it is shown that Bathsheba was a witch. However, in real life, there were not any proof that she was. In the past, she also didn't reside in the Conjuring House, but instead a neighboring farm. The town grew to believe that Bathsheba was a witch due to an infant whose life was taken away in her care. When the body of the infant was examined, they found that a needle was the cause of the child's life being taken away. They believed that Bathsheba purposely ended the life of the child as a sacrifice to the devil. The townspeople immediately grew suspicious, and Bathsheba was put on trial. Ultimately, she was found not guilty because there was a lack of evidence proving that she harmed the child or practiced witchcraft. However, the townspeople were not pleased and still wasn't convinced. Bathsheba continued to live her life with her husband on their farm. She lived to see her son grow and marry, and she died as an old woman in 1885. Over the years, the house has seen a few owners. Each of them experienced paranormal activities such as doors closing, footsteps, and knocks. The new owners of the Conjuring House is allowing people to tour or even have the chance to camp at the haunted house. The facts between the movie The Conjuring and the actual story may not match exactly. The story that Bathsheba Sherman being the witch who terrorizes the family may not even be the case. In fact, there are accounts that the house may be haunted by spirits of Native Americans who once inhabited the land before it was taken. The Arnolds, the original owners of the Conjuring House, often saw their own demise. It may be because the spirits just wanted to be left in peace. The house is fully popular today since the 2013 movie, and many people are quickly going to tour the house and even have a chance to stay the night there. I'm going to leave in the description down below the link to the Conjuring House tours for those who are interested. I may be brave enough one day to tour the house. Maybe I won't be. Thank you guys for listening.